right, here I am. It's Carrie back with FamilyEbiz. You just never know with Facebook. You sit there and it says live in the little red button, and then the other thing's just spinning. And when I go ahead and get started, my replay's chopped off. So, Carrie Beck, FamilyEbiz.com. I am so excited to be here because I want to talk to you about how you can gain some success in your business, actually in your life as well. But we're going to be talking about 3 things that are holding you back from success. I have put a question in the description, whether you're watching the live or whether you're watching the replay. I hope that you will take just a second right now and think, what is holding you back from success? Seriously, what is holding you back from success? Leave a comment and let me know, because I would love to hear what y'all have to say. And I would love to just know that you're here. So do this. Not only that, but leave me a comment throughout the whole thing. I've got some questions I'm going to throw out there. The more that you interact, the more I'll be excited, and the more I think you will get out of it. Because when you are not trying to multitask, then you're going to get more out of it. And as I say that, I am going to pull up my Facebook here because it helps me see comments better sometimes. So let me just find that. I should have done this earlier. I'll tell you what was happening. I may be getting a new desk, a standing desk. And so there we go. All right. 3 things holding you back from success. So some of you know me, some of you don't know me, but I do want to just tell you a little bit about myself. I don't have a picture today to tell you exactly everything there is about our family, but I do have a picture right here. Steve obviously is up there. Hunter, boy, my finger can't go in the middle up there, is our youngest. He just left to go about 30 minutes away and pick up a standing desk, and he said there were 2, and that would help my back. He is in management consulting, and he and I talk a lot about the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, because he is always learning, always growing, trying to figure out how do we move forward and get rid of those things that are pulling us down, because he has clients that need help with some of that. Then we have Ashley here. This was from 14 years ago. She's actually married and has 2 kids. She has had her own business. She and Steve had their own business when we were in Idaho, when she was in high school, and it was a reloading supply for gun reloading. Never touched the product, just took the orders, and they drop ship to it as well. Gentry is over here. She's our middle daughter, and she is married also. Ashley has 2 girls. Gentry has a boy and a girl, and the boy is starting to walk. I got to see him on video this week. But she is coming, she worked in our business all the time. She can manage things. She knows what to do, but she also now has to manage social media. She is a true leader. In fact, they used to have 8 leaders in her Chick-fil-A that she works for. She just works part-time. She's already told them, I don't want to work more than 20 hours because I want to be home with my kids. But she works part-time, and even though she worked part-time, she was chosen as one of the 4 leaders that would remain leaders. The rest had the same job, but she got a bit of a promotion. So some of the things I'm going to share today have to do with that as well. So let me know that you're here as you're entering in. I tell you that because I want you to know when I say FamilyEbiz, it is truly a family business. Now, I will tell you this too, that we actually did not, my kids obviously don't work in our business anymore, but I still bounce ideas around him. I was dealing with a leadership problem with a contractor or subcontractor, and I quickly just shot an email to the kids to get their input. Because another thing, although all 3 of them are in leadership right now, Gentry and Hunter and I share leadership podcasts in relationship to business and how we grow our business and how we deal with our teams. So I'm constantly, y'all may not know this, but if you ask me a question and I just want a little feedback, I go to them because they're doing this all the time. All right, so enough about me. Let me tell you that as we go through here, I will be looking for comments. So I hope that you will leave a comment. We will be choosing just a couple of comments throughout this presentation to get one of our ebooks. I think I need to see, I think it might be 37, the best 37 email subject lines. And so you can win that. I still, even though I wrote it, I still go back to my list and the types of subject lines when I need to come up with a new subject line. It is incredible, and it can help you get your emails open. So that is one thing that I want you to know. So leave some comments along the way. So we did start, FamilyEbiz, really, it began before Steve went to seminary. We took everyone from Texas to Idaho. I want to give you a little background so you understand what was holding us back. And then maybe you can relate to that as well. So FamilyEbiz really began around 2003 or 4, and it supported us while Steve was going to seminary in Idaho. We did well right out of the starting blocks. In fact, Steve's first course that he sold back in, I want to say 2005 or 6, it was a physical course that we had shipped to the people, and he made $50,000 in 1 week. You heard that correctly. So when I'm talking about marketing online, we were using these principles that I continue to teach all the time, that my mastermind members keep asking me about. What would you do in this situation? I just want you to know that we made $50,000, but here's the kicker. Our credit card company that was processing held 50% of it for 6 months. You're right. We were not able to get $25,000 in our bank account for 6 months. Here's what we did. We paid our bills. We paid our affiliates immediately. Our profits came in 6 months. And so that's really what we did. But I want you to know that it wasn't a perfect course. It wasn't like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but people were hungry and we were filling a need, and they could see the transformation that they would have. So Steve's first course sold for $50,000. I then sold Secrets to Online Auction Success. It was all about how to use eBay, but I couldn't use the word eBay in the title. I made somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 in that first week. But over time, I would say over about 5 to 6 years, Steve lost hope. He felt like he was selling false hope, that people were buying our courses and our resources, but they weren't really seeing results. And so he really pulled out of FamilyEbiz about 10 years ago. I believe false thinking shut him down with FamilyEbiz, but I also know that God is in control. And so he moved back to Beck Construction and started doing his remodeling and contracting as a remodeler, which is what he continues to do to this day. I'm going to save Steve's thinking for later in the talk, but I want to begin right now talking about the 3 things. So grab a piece of paper and let's start writing down the 3 things that are holding you back from success as well. So remember, raise your hand or leave an amen if I share something that you can relate to. And if you are just starting out, you're getting started, you're brand new, maybe you've been doing things like contract labor or a virtual assistant, but you want to start your own business, pay attention to these things so you don't fall into these traps, these false thinkings, these negative thinkings. So the first one is perfectionism. I believe we hold ourselves back because of perfectionism. Entrepreneurs, this is a very big stumbling block. So Dan Kennedy, who I don't know if y'all know, in the 1960s there was this, or 70s, there was this TV commercial and magazine ad that said, does she or doesn't she? Only her hairdresser knows for sure. Now you may be too young to hear that, but if you lived in the 60s and 70s, everyone heard that. Dan Kennedy is responsible for that particular advertising. It was all about direct marketing, which translates well into what we teach and what internet marketing is. Here's what he said. Good is good enough. Good is good enough. We don't need perfect. Even with my 2 events each year, every time I do it, I still feel like, oh, I need to do this better, or oh, I need to do that. But I refuse to let perfectionism keep me from publishing my course or from hosting these events. There is always something to improve. And if you look at my FamilyEbiz website right now, there are so many flaws and so many things I need to correct. But It is actually doing something. Some of you are holding back and you are not publishing your website because you want everything perfect. Well, I can tell you right now, my FamilyEbiz website is not perfect. Perfectionism did not hold me back. I got it out there so I could start my business. Seth Godin, who wrote the book, The Big Move, stop trying to be perfect, start being remarkable. So let's convert from perfectionism to being remarkable. Being remarkable attracts people. What is it that you can do where you can be remarkable in your niche? And that will vary from niche to niche. Another thing he says is ship it. Too many of you sit on it instead of ship it. And that is what we do. Oh, but I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to get it right. I've heard many of you, even some of my mastermind members are telling me that. It is the same thing. You're just trying to get it right, but getting it out there is more powerful than sitting on it till tomorrow. Now, obviously, you need to actually have a homepage done, but once it, like I'm going to tell you right now, I just redid my homeschool, howtohomeschoolmychild.com. My blog does not look like it should or I want to because they still haven't fixed something. Does that mean I kept my blog back and I was like, well, don't publish the blog because it doesn't have the side posts? No, it's out there so people can find it. It doesn't have anything where people can sign up or click on affiliate links. It doesn't have any of that. But my blog post is out there and I continue to use that. And probably my web pages aren't looking the right way either, but right now it is out there and that is super important. So I think it's really important that we realize perfectionism is, well, let me ask you this. Leave something in a comment. Is perfectionism holding you back? Is that something that's holding you back from success? Put an amen in the comment section or let me know what you're thinking. Because I can tell you, I will tell you this too, personal story. Growing up through high school, I was a perfectionist. If it wasn't perfect, I was not going to turn it in. I love to sew. And if that seam wasn't perfect, rip it out and go do it again. And then I had children and I quit being a perfectionist because I would never get anything done, including sewing. I was like, that seam is on the inside of my children's clothes. No one's going to see it. It's good enough. It holds it together. On the outside, it looks great. So who cares, Carrie? So that is how we need to be. Now, I'm not saying you put bad work out, but if it is just good, not great, perfect, or excellent, but if it is good, good is good enough. Write that down right now. So how do we overcome this? Let me just tell you that great entrepreneurs like Dan Kennedy said he was never perfect, but he was always learning. Give yourself grace. Give yourself permission to do B work or even sub A, but give yourself permission. B or B minus work is fine. It doesn't need to be A plus. B is better than never. Putting it out there is more important than doing A plus work, or even A work. So let's take one step. Let me ask you a question. You can put this in the comments, whether you're listening live or replay. I would love to know your thoughts. We need to take one step forward in our business. Would you say it's better to take a baby step or a giant leap? What do you think? Baby step or a giant leap? I will tell you what I think, and that is that baby steps every day that maybe equal one giant leap, if you're making baby steps every day in good, being good and putting good out, that is better than a giant leap every quarter. Some of you work, and then you just quit doing it for a month or two, and then work. It is better to do something even 15 minutes a day, every day for the month, than to work for all day on a Saturday. Better to do a little bit and stay consistent. You will get further. Lao Tzu says this: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So you're not just going to go make 1,000 miles all in one day. Well, you could on an airplane, but it still begins with one step. What's the one step you need to take right now to overcome perfectionism? So First thing that's holding you back might be perfectionism. The next thing is fear. Because when we fear what's ahead, fear of failure, fear of not being accepted, fear of not helping people, we're just playing at it. We're just playing at blogging. And I was a hobby blogger for years, up until 2 years ago. A lot of you know my story. I lost half my income 2 years ago, and I had to get serious and quit, and I had to overcome perfectionism. I had to overcome my fear of not doing everything perfectly. If you're just playing at blogging, you're really not all in. So leave a comment and tell me, what are you scared of? What are you scared of? Are you comparing yourself to others? Oh my goodness, you get on here and you spend more time comparing yourself to others than you do putting something out there. Here's what Eleanor Roosevelt had to say. You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. Did you catch that? You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do, how seldom they think of you. Something to think about. We are worried about what everyone else is thinking, and they're not even thinking about you. They're just going on about their business. Another thing you might be doing, and I know some of you are doing this because you've told me, I just have to learn it all before I can do it. No, you don't. That is an excuse, and a lot of times that is the fear of putting it out there. You're constantly learning. You're constantly busy to cover up your fear. To cover up, pull the trigger. And that's it is scary. Even when I put my homeschool website out, I wanted it to be all perfect and just go from old to new in one day. That didn't happen. It took us like a month and a half to get that thing done, and people saw bits and pieces, and it didn't look perfect. And you know what? It wasn't that I was afraid. I was sort of embarrassed because I was like, this isn't what I wanted to look like. But I was like, it's better to pull the trigger and get it going and have a half-done website than to have no website whatsoever. Another thing we're afraid of is fear of failure. What if you end up with a goose egg for sales? Well, guess what? I've actually done that. I have given webinars and I have made 0 sales. What happened? I didn't die. But yeah, it's a blow to your ego. But you know what? I did what Dan Kennedy talked about. He says, I am always learning. The other thing that Dan Kennedy said is fail fast. It's better to fail fast than to not fail at all or to fail later. Fail fast. Why? Because when you fail, you find out, oh, here's all the things I did wrong and the mistakes I need to change. So what did I do? I learned from my 0 sales webinar. If you've ever done that, I can relate to you. And I adjusted for next time and made more money the next time. So, fear of comparing ourselves to others, constantly busy to cover up our fear of failure. Another thing that we do that I think we need to do is we need to go big or go home. I wish I had Hunter's shirt. When he was a senior in high school, the cheerleaders were selling t-shirts that said, go big or go home. And on the back were all the football players' names. So I still have his shirt with his name on the back. And I think this says a lot. We need to go big or go home. Let's just go all out. Does it have to be perfect? No. Good is good enough. But go big all the way in and let's go and get this done. And when we play small, think about this. When we play small, we delay our success because we're just piddling and we're covering up our fear. Quit testing every single thing. Put it out there and then start testing. Show up and do it. How many of you are afraid to show up and actually do it? Leave a comment in the chat, and I would love to hear if that's a problem. Another thing is we just play at it as a hobby business, but the business, let me tell you, can provide for your lifestyle if you will do what you need to do. It's a lifestyle of freedom when you are online. I have the freedom to go help my kids. Like 2 weeks ago, I was all week babysitting a 3 and a 1 year old. I think each day I looked at it, I worked 2 or 3 hours a day. And I was still making money. I was actually making some good money that week. So we need to work on it. Now, does that happen all the time? No. When I'm here, I work. I mean, I work hard, but I have the freedom to do that. I have the freedom to go have coffee with my friend last week that I hadn't seen since the beginning of summer, and we could catch up. I have the freedom to go down. I can have the freedom to sleep till I want to, and then start working at 9 o'clock if I want to. Today I was like, Hunter, I'm gonna go to a coffee shop. So I walked, there's a little coffee shop that's about 15 or 20 minutes away. I went down there, I worked for a while. I walked to the little farm patch, got my little vegetables, put them in my backpack, and I just walked on home and got ready for the rest of the afternoon. So we do need to pull the trigger. You need to be fully present. Doesn't mean just a full-time job, but you need to be fully present when you're working. You need to take the next step no matter how scared you are. I will tell you this. I'm going to share a scary story. Yeah, it's Halloween, October. Oh, well. Here's a scary story. In 2019, I relaunched Homeschool Superheroes in a completely different way. All of a sudden, instead of just 10 or 15 speakers, I had 25 or 30. And then they were depending on me to present and pull everything together, and that they would make money, and that the people signing up would get what they need from the speakers and the whole event. I was scared to death. I was scared for the first day that we were going to open up registration. I had no clue, but you know what I did for that month ahead of time? I kept taking baby steps. I kept taking the next step until I made a good leap. But that leap took me a month, maybe even 2 months to get going. And it was successful. And I will tell you, that was the thing that God showed me. Yes, you've lost half your income, but I'm going to turn it around, and we're going to start with Homeschool Superheroes. Did I know it when I was working on it? No. Who knows? I mean, I was working a good 40 hours, and during registration and Homeschool Superheroes, I was probably working 60 hours a week. I was working a lot. Did I know the results at the end? No, but I kept taking baby steps, and God was faithful. But I also think that each one of those steps helped produce the income. But more importantly, it served my audience. I had an attitude of serving them, and I think that helped overcome my fear as well, because I knew the things that I was sharing and my speakers were sharing would help my audience. Another thing that, here, where is my thing? Lisa is one of my former mastermind students, and she said the accountability and motivation in our mastermind helped me push forward even when I didn't want to. And it's nice to listen to others in the group and their struggles. See, a lot of us are all afraid, and that is what I think is so exciting and so cool. Another thing that Myra, who was actually on our class on Tuesday, keeps telling me, Carrie, I love your mastermind because I can talk it through and I can share, and it's a safe place to share my fears. Jan Bird, another one, she's like, I trust the people in my mastermind so I can tell them when I'm afraid of doing something or I'm unsure. So that's pretty exciting. Eleanor Roosevelt also said this: we gain strength and courage and confidence by each experience, listen, in which we really stop to look fear in the face. We must do that which we think we cannot. I didn't think I could. I couldn't do Homeschool Superheroes, but I looked fear in the face and I said, I am going to take each step. And I gained strength and confidence and courage through that entire experience. So then when I launched Life Skills Leadership Summit in the next February, and I had no idea I was even going to do that, it was so much easier, and the fear was pretty subsided. Another, Mark Twain says this: courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. So if you have fear, that's okay. But because we have fear, we can push forward. That is true courage. We are going to resist our fear, and we are going to master it. And as a believer in Jesus Christ, I believe I master that through the Holy Spirit and through just trusting in Him as well. I was going to read something that Justina had written to me one time. She said, being a solopreneur, you and me, that's what we do. We really have to be slow and steady about seeing growth as well. And that's one thing that's, I think is really important, and we need to see, and we still take those steps, even when we might be afraid. So one thing that may be holding you back is perfectionism. It might be fear. And the third one is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, I still have imposter syndrome, believe it or not. Even though I make money, even though I tell people that how to make money, I have imposter syndrome. So let's talk about it. If you have imposter syndrome, leave me a comment. Hey, Kimberly, I'm glad you're here, and I hope you're catching some things here. What is imposter syndrome? There's a lot of different things about it. In fact, I've done a whole training for my mastermind on overcoming imposter syndrome, and my new mastermind members will get that training. But it's thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm a fraud, and they're going to find out. My course, my products, they're really not good enough. Who does she think she is? Who do I think I am to even be selling something? This is imposter syndrome. We think we are an imposter. It's sort of that fake it till you make it. But I think we have to have another attitude. And instead of worrying about the sales, we need to go to it from a service mentality. We are going to serve our audience. I think when we serve our audience and we truly put it all out there and help them, then it has that negative thinking that takes our energy away from us and turns it into success and into a dream business, because all of a sudden it changes my whole attitude. I am helping my audience. I am helping the people there with me, and I quit worrying about it. I do believe this is something, as I told you at the beginning, Steve quit FamilyEbiz, and really it just became a hobby business. All of our businesses at that time just were a hobby business from about 2010 or 11 to 2020, right in COVID. And I really think some of it was up in his mind as far as that is. I kept plugging away and I kept helping homeschoolers, but it wasn't all in. It was just a hobby business. And so I do think I had to really work on my mindset. And I am a person who is pretty sure of themselves. And if I put my mind to it, I'm going to do it. Just like I'm going to do Homeschool Superheroes. I have no idea the results, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Will it be that great? I don't know. Where I have imposter syndrome myself is when I sell a course, I'm like, is this really going to help someone? Especially when I sell a $197 course to homeschool parents. That's a little scary if you ask me. And so that is one thing that I have really had to do some mindset thinking. Let me share a few stories, and then we're going to talk about how do we overcome imposter syndrome. This is what John Steinbeck, novelist John Steinbeck, said about himself. I'm not a writer. I've been fooling myself and other people. Can you believe it? Every high schooler reads John Steinbeck, Grapes of Wrath. All right, Meryl Streep, actress with a gazillion Oscars. You'd think, why would anyone want to see me in a movie again? And I don't know how to act anyway, so why am I doing this? That is Meryl Streep. Kate Winslet, another actress. Sometimes I wake up in the morning before I go to a shoot and I think, I can't do this. I'm a fraud. These are people that are blockbuster actresses. Jennifer Lopez, a singer, she says, even though I had 70 million albums sold, I had this feeling I'm just not good at this. Can you believe? It just goes to show that lots of people deal with this. And then Jodie Foster, who won, I don't remember when she won the Oscar, but here's what she said. When I won the Oscar, I thought it was a fluke. I thought everybody would find out and they'd take it back from me. They'd come to my house, knocking on my door. Excuse me, we meant to give that to someone else. That was going to Meryl Streep. These are people that we put up on a pedestal, and they deal with imposter syndrome. Amy Cuddy has this to say: focus less on the impression you're making on others and more on the impression you're making on yourself. Think about that. We need to be dealing with the impression we're making on ourselves. We don't need to worry about what everyone else is thinking. Quit worrying about everyone else, like Eleanor Roosevelt told us. So, Kate, I think Kimberly said yes. This is that's me with my stuff. Will be whether it will be worthwhile and add value to them. I completely agree. I still feel like this at times. Okay, so here are some ways we could overcome the imposter syndrome. One, be honest about your ability, your credibility, and your success. John Wooden, I love this coach. I'm a big sports fan, and I've read 3 or 4 of his books. For those of you that don't know, he was a basketball coach. I think it's UCLA. It's a California one. He won, I think, 10 national basketball champions in a row. The man knew what he was doing. And here's what he had to say. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Now think about that for a second. If you're multitasking, think about this. Come back to me. Do not let what you cannot do, I know that's a double negative, interfere with what you can do. All right? Think about write down in the comments, what is one thing that you have been successful or proud of in the past 6 months? Let's focus on what you can do instead of what we're worried about we cannot do. And I should be telling my mastermind members. In fact, I'm probably going to put that quote up in our little private group and find out what they're thinking, because we all deal with these little imposter syndromes. So be honest about your ability and your credibility and your success. Even if your success is, my child slept through their nap. Yay. Or maybe my success is, I was consistent with my children, with their behavior, and I saw things that I could bless them for instead of just being negative with them. There's a wide variety. It doesn't just have to be business success. So be honest and pay attention to what you are able to do. Replace the lies in your head with truth. Get rid of that tape, the reels that are going on in your head. Silence all those voices in your head. Some of those may be personal ones, but some of those might be business ones. I would say from a business standpoint, write down all the negative thinking. Okay, don't go on and on for 20, but write down 5 things that you have negative thinking on in your business. Every single one of them, write a truth. For instance, for me, I was trying to think, I'm not my product. Let's say raising leaders, not followers. I had people this week, actually telling me, this is exactly what I need. I have been looking for this, Carrie. This is going to help my homeschool. But in my head, it creeps in my head. Oh, it's raising leaders. It doesn't really, is it really worth the $197? And then I write the truth. Carrie, you had moms tell you that this is changing their homeschool. And then I read that out loud every single day till it gets rid, because truth sets you free. Replace the negative with the truth. So there you go. Right? Replace that truth. And one thing that I wanted to say something about that Jan Burt said about our mastermind, and she just says, where is it? That we trust they are friends, not just group members. Plus, no, that's not it. This is one of the best things I have ever done, because they hold me for actual accountability. I don't feel like adrift, and they will tell me the truth about whatever it is I am doing. So be honest about what you can do, replace the lies with truth, and then let your why be bigger than your worry. Amy Porterfield says this. So let's talk about, why do you want to have a business? And don't tell me to make money. There's got to be a bigger why. I'm going to tell you why I have a business, an online business, my own business. I don't want to have to go get a 9-to-5 job. 6 years ago, my dad was like, Carrie, you could go be a bookkeeper. And I'm like, that is the last thing I want to do, Dad. And then when I lost my income 2 years ago, I know he was probably thinking, Carrie, go get that bookkeeping job. And I was like, no, I am going to push forward in this business that God has given me. And God bless me, and I have been able to support myself through an online business. My big why is, I don't want a 9-to-5 or even a part-time 9-to-5. I want the freedom to go visit Hunter wherever he's traveling in the world. He's always traveling somewhere. The freedom in 2 weeks to go to Austin for 3 days and help with my 3 grandchildren while Ashley goes to a conference in Dallas. Even though her husband works from home 2 days a week, he needs to do his work, so I get to play and have fun with my grandkids. So those are some of the whys. Write in the chat, why do you want an online business? I would love to hear why you want an online business. Mark Victor Hansen, oh, I didn't write this one down. Here's what he has to say. And he is a business coach. Don't wait until everything is just right. Oh, I want to tell you Amy Porterfield's story before I move on. When your why is bigger than your worry, it'll pick you up on the days that you fall. Like the day I made a zero. Here's what she said. Her first launch, now this lady is worth $30 million right now. Her first launch, say 10 years ago, $267. Did she stop? No, she learned from it. She moved forward, and then she made $30,000. And then the next one, she made $118,000. And the next one, she made $283,000. And the next one, $950,000. Every single one of those could have been a failure in people's eyes, but she learned from it and she grew. Mark Victor Hansen says, don't wait until everything is perfect. It will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and less than perfect conditions. So what? Get started now with each step you take. Remember those baby steps we talked about with perfectionism? With each step you take, you grow stronger and stronger, more and more skilled, more and more confident, more and more successful. So it's never going to be perfect. So we're going to overcome number one, perfectionism. And you're just going to have to face your fear and move forward. We're going to overcome our fear and that imposter syndrome. We're going to get rid of it by replacing the fears, replacing the lies in our head with truth. And we need to keep showing up. Perseverance leads to character. Romans 5:3-5 says, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, so those trials or failures in our business gives us perseverance. Perseverance leads to character, and character to hope, and hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. And I would say we can use that personally, but we can also use that from a business perspective. Perseverance does lead to character. It will grow your strength character, your courage character, your perseverance, your work ethic, and the hope. And that hope will lead to help us with that why, and we'll keep moving forward. Get up from your fall, and if you get up and walk, run, or crawl. You know, my little 1-year-old Deacon, he's 1 year old, and he just sort of, he's only this far off from the ground when his mom says, stand up. And so he stands up, and he takes a step or two, and he falls down. And does that let him stop? No. He's just laughing, and he just gets up. And this time he only takes one step and falls down. And the next time he doesn't even get up. But the next time he gets up and he takes some more steps. That's what it's like in life, but that's what it's like in our business. When we fall down, it's okay. We just need to keep getting up and taking another step. We need to overcome our roadblocks. So that means we're either going to go around those roadblocks. That's me in tech issues. I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. Well, let's just sort of do this and we'll just solve that problem. May not be the best thing, but it'll solve that problem. Maybe we go straight through that roadblock and explode it and fix it and move forward. Or maybe we go over the roadblock. When we need help, we ask. But who do you ask? Let me just review these just for a moment. And Kimberly, you said, to allow me not to get another overnight job at the local gas station. That is a huge why. And to help us to not keep going over budget and paycheck. Actually, I've always been stay within my means, and I'm still staying within my means. But the last few weeks, I've been like I bought some new refrigerator filters, okay, and some. I've started having to use a new special shampoo for my hair because it was falling out. But anyway, so what? I bought all this and I was like, Carrie, you could have waited 2 months or whatever. So I am watching my spending habits as well. So that's a good thing. And we do, but if we have a big enough why to overcome the budget, and yes, I don't want the job at the gas station. I don't want this, that, or the other. So that is a good why. And when our why is bigger than our worry, we will keep moving forward. So we do need to help. We need to ask for help. But who do you ask? And on Tuesday of this week, I did introduce our FamilyEbiz Mastermind. I know some of you were on that. Thank you for being there. That was an awesome class. I had so much fun. But I think sometimes we need to get help, and we need to know who to ask before we even know that we need help. So what I like about the FamilyEbiz Mastermind is sort of like our personal board of advisors as well. And you get to ask, but you've heard from some of the people that I've actually talked about. I will tell you, Sarah Miller had told me this about it. She was like, Carrie and the group has helped me think more intentionally about steps to grow my business, which is helping me to use her limited time wisely. She has like a 5 and a 7-year-old, and to see growth faster. I love the opportunities to brainstorm with the other mastermind members. It's helpful to get lots of different perspectives on how to solve my problems quickly. I don't have to go out to the internet. I have a group of 4 or 5 trusted advisors. I absolutely, get this, I absolutely would not be where I am today without Carrie's help and support in growing my business. When she started the mastermind a year ago, she had only been online for a year, and now she has a course that she's launched 3 or 4 times. She gives webinars, she has a Facebook group, and she is growing her business. And she says a lot of it is due to the mastermind as well. So the FamilyEbiz Mastermind will help you take your business to the next level, just like Sarah said, wherever you are, whether that's getting started to this level, being here 1 year to this level, or maybe you've been doing it and you want to scale it to a full-time income. To give you a trusted group of entrepreneurs, those advisors, to listen and advise on your next step, to help keep you accountable and focused. That's what Jan's always saying. She tells me, Carrie, I get my action plan when Ross sends it, and I put it on my bulletin board so I am focused for the next 4 weeks, and I make sure that I do the things that I know I need to, and I get rid of all those other things that come along. To help focus on profit-making tasks, to get cutting-edge, up-to-date strategies to grow your business, and to help you overcome your fear of no one reading your blog post or buying your items. That's why we have a group of people as well. How often do we meet? We meet once a month for about 2.5 hours, so it's a very small time commitment. And you have the benefit of a group instead of just a one-on-one coach. Because I can tell you a lot of things that we've done over the past 12, 15 years, but you also will get perspective of people that have just started out, and you sort of can balance all of that out. I think that is something that is so advantageous. I was going to say right now, while I'm talking about it, I'm actually going to go ahead and put the link for those of you that have been thinking about this. Because I just want you to be able to have that. Some of y'all have been on the fence. I want to be able to answer your questions. And so please leave any questions in the comments. I will keep coming back to those as well. But let me just tell you how one meeting goes. If we have 4 people, that's a 2-hour meeting, and you get 30 minutes. At the beginning, you'll tell us we'll go over your action plan, and we'll say, did you do these things? Hold you accountable. And then you'll say yes or no or why and how you need help. Then you're going to tell us, and we're going to help each other. What's one thing that's been working that other people can learn from? And then you're going to say, but here's where I am. I need help. I need help on getting a podcast up. I need help on my sales page. Let's look at it. Pull it up on the screen. I need help on pricing this product. So there's a lot of things you can do with that. And so we will brainstorm solutions for you. It is the power of a group versus a single coach. And then you will each month turn in your pre-homework. This forces you to think about what you have done in the last month. This is important because too often we forget to realize we've really made those baby steps better than a giant leap. And then we get to write those down. And that is what I think encourages us to keep going. We will stay on time. And then afterwards, it will be recorded. We will put that in your members area, as well as each month I will give a training. That might be me interviewing someone, or it may be teaching, or maybe using someone else's training that will help you with some PDFs that will go along with it. So I think that's most all of what will happen in our monthly meeting. Oh, and that's some of the bonuses. I just sort of rambled on about that. I will tell you, for anyone that signs up as a new member this time, you will get our Boost course. Our Boost course really helps people that are getting started or just barely started boost to the next level. It's going to cover all the foundation, plus help you with a marketing funnel. And how does that work? To help you not be overwhelmed, every month for the next 4 months, you'll get one module to work on, and that will help you move forward as well. I really like that. In that Boost course, you will immediately get my complete imposter syndrome training, which is more than what I talked about today, and you get my productivity. Katie Wolf, a former member of ours, last December, she was really struggling with time management and productivity. I said, well, let's do a training. We came back January. She goes, have y'all watched Carrie's productivity training? She goes, that helped me. And I have redone it, and I am getting more done than I have ever gotten done in the past. So those are some things just to look forward to as well. Let me know if there's any questions you have about what's included, or if you think this is a good fit for you. All of this is worth, I don't even have the numbers, but it's around $800 or $900. But and normally I am going to want to start charging $97, but I've decided that with the economy in such flux and no one knows what's going on, we're going to charge $47 a month. And here's what I would encourage you to think. You know what? If I can spend $47 and get the help to grow a business, start a business, do whatever, and if every month I can make $50 to $100 from one thing that I learned, it's worth it. $50, you've made $3, but $100 from one thing that I learned from the mastermind, you have just made $53 a profit. That may not be a lot right there, but every week it will exponentially grow, because in 3 months it may not be 100, it may be 300, because you've learned how to create a course and sell it. Maybe in 6 months you've learned how to launch it and you make $1,000 that month. So hopefully that 47 will be a very tiny investment in the profit that you are making each and every month. So when you join FamilyEbiz Mastermind and you follow your personalized action plan, I hope and want you to move from a nobody in your niche to a rock star who serves their audience well. To quit doing all your work manually and follow the systems. We're all about systems in the mastermind, to give you more freedom to spend more time with your family, or whatever that freedom is that you are looking for. And to quit trying to figure it out on your own and work through all the free stuff online and not know, is this the best thing or is that? I had Kelly, who's in my mastermind, just this week we were in our meeting, and she's like, Carrie, before this it was like, oh, I'll do this because you told me, I'll do this because you told me this. She goes, I was following everyone and nothing was happening. Now I can focus on one system. And so that's what we're all about, is helping you get a system that works for your business. So quit trying to figure it out all on your own, which leads to confusion and lots of wasted time. Focus on your profit-making tips, tasks, and your profit-making system. So these are some things that hold you back from success: perfectionism, fear, and imposter syndrome. I wholeheartedly believe, and you've heard some of my mastermind members, and if you would like, maybe I need to interview a couple of them and just put a few of those interviews here and share those on YouTube as well. But if you would like, that is something that we could do as well. Just a little 2-minute video here or there. I may have to do that and see. Anyway, it has helped. I am in another mastermind. Let me just tell you, I actually do pay $97 a month for my own mastermind. And so I am not trying to sell you something that I don't spend money myself. And so that is a good thing. So you know that I am investing even more money in myself. And the members that we have here, they are investing. And I will tell you what, when you put your money where your mouth is, you're more likely to pull the trigger, get over your fear, get over your perfectionism, and get over your imposter syndrome, and quit trying to figure it all out on your own. So, hey, if y'all have questions, let me know. Free stuff. Yeah, I understand, Kimberly. I don't know how much free stuff I've downloaded. Who knows where it even is on my computer. And I would say that even has something to do with all the bundles, even though some of y'all have come to me from Genius Blogger Toolkit. And I hope that I can build a relationship with you and be able to show you some systems that really work, and that we could journey together. I would love to help you get to the point where I am. I'd love for you to surpass me and make even more money than what I am as well. So I did have a few questions actually sent in ahead of time that I am going to answer, and we'll take just a minute or two to be able to do that as well. A few people have said, who is this mastermind best for? And so I would give a few people. One, if you are a stay-at-home mom trying to make a little extra money, maybe for field trips, maybe for vacations, maybe to be able to give your kids the piano lessons they need. Or I was reading a story about Jenna Kutcher, the gymnastics lessons that they need. You could make a part-time income just from your home. And so that would be a really good place. Some of you are making a part-time income, but you're still struggling and it's not consistent. That is another person that it will really help, because you can get in a system, first of all, to go from I made $100 here, and then 5 months later I made $500, and then 3 months later I made $50, and it's all up and down, and you're not really making consistent. I will tell you, you do need to follow a system, and some people continue to just do their own thing, but there are systems that will really help you do that, and those are the systems that we share in the mastermind as well. So you can move from an inconsistent part-time to a consistent, or maybe you're making consistent income and you're going to move to a real full-time income as well. And some of our mastermind, that is their goal, and they are working on membership sites and things like that. So we have people like Mara, who's just getting started creating her brand new course, and she is so excited. I love working with her, and she's got so much energy, and I may actually try to get an interview with her. And then we have Annette. Annette is making a part-time income, but she wants to go and quit doing virtual assistant work and be able to get to a full-time income and continue to road school, and they can continue to travel. And so that is exciting too as well. And she has told me, I know I miss mastermind meetings every once in a while because of my virtual assistant job, but this is keeping me focused and forward in the right direction. So that's another thing. Here's another question is, do I need to buy and sign up now? And that's actually a really good question, because yes, we don't just keep it open all the time. We don't need people coming and going in and out of our mastermind groups. We are opening it up now. We're opening up a few new groups, and we will not open them again until 2023. So if you're thinking about doing it, now is the time. The doors close next Wednesday, October 26th. So you have some time to think about it. All right. And so think about that and just realize that I'll give you a little clue. I have a special weekend bonus that if you sign up between now, anytime before now, and Sunday, you'll get a special bonus. And so watch your email. I think it's worth $97 as well. So that's sort of a cool thing that you can get as well. So yeah, if you want to join, I highly recommend it. I believe it's worth your money. I encourage you, and I don't have a certain time limit, but what I do encourage you, if you're gonna make the commitment, at least give yourself 4 months. If you just get in 1 month, you haven't given it a chance. 4 or 5 months gives you time to actually start to implement it and see if you are actually gonna get the help to overcome your perfectionism, your fear, your imposter syndrome, and to actually get something in place and start to sell. All right, so that's a really good thing as well. I think that's it for right now. I am here and I want to walk with you. I want to support you, and I will do whatever I can to help you. And yes, I have taken some special calls just with mastermind members. It just sort of depends. And some of people, I will do a special coaching call if you need a little bit of help doing that. It may be a recorded one. I don't know, but I'm here to help you. I want to serve you. I want you to avoid all the mistakes that I made, and I have made plenty of them. All right. And Kimberly says, this is a good question. Let me hit more. I homeschool 7 kids. I get up early, like 4 a.m. Yes, I know the 4 a.m. story. I've done that, been there. And still don't get to work on it much. I was hoping to get my blog up and going by the end of summer break. Not sure where I could get the 47 a month. That's a good question. The only is if I sold a class or a course or one-on-one. And the other thing, sometimes in our niche, just to get started, if you could sell coaching, and I don't know what everyone's niche is, but if you could sell someone to get coaching from you $50 a month, there you go. You've paid for it, and you're spending 1 hour coaching them. And it could be knitting for all I care, or it could be how to play the violin, or I don't know, different kinds of things. I don't know what everyone's niche is, but that is a really good point, time-wise. Now, Kimberly, I can't remember how old your kids are, but I'm going to tell you, my kids, by the time they were 8 or 10 years old, they were helping us in our business, and they were doing things to free up my time. And so there's a lot of things, just like I did Bible study with a girl that had a 3 and a 1-year-old, and the way we could do that is my kids were 5 to 10 years old. For 1 hour, they would take her 2 kids in the other room and play with them, or take them in the backyard and play with them. And we actually got dedicated 1 hour time. And my Ashley or Gentry was 10 years old, I don't remember, and they could handle it. They could go get a snack. 10 years old, they should be able to go get a snack and get water and take care of those kids for us. And for the most part, we had it. It's the same with business. If you want to have some dedicated time, maybe you can work out a system. The other thing is trading some time with a friend. Maybe once a week, your friend watches your kids, and the other time you watch their kids, and you trade off on Tuesday, Thursday, and that gives you an afternoon to work each week. There are some creative things. I will tell you right now, a story from Jenna Kutcher. I was reading her book, How Are You Really? And her mom and dad did not have the money for her to go to the next level in gymnastics, to change gyms. But they thought about it. I don't know if they prayed about it. They told Jenna what their issue was and how much it was going to cost, and where they're going to have to find that money from somewhere. About 3 days later, they came into her and said, okay, we feel like we need to move you, and we're still figuring out how that money's going to come. So they went to the first gymnastics class, or whatever it's called, session, and her mom noticed there was a kitchen there that needed a lot of repair. And then her mom realized the locker room needed a lot of repair. And you know what she did? She made an appointment with the owner and traded. She didn't have to find the money. She said, we will improve the kitchen, and we will improve your locker room once a year. If you will close down once a year, our whole family, including Jenna's grandparents, Jenna's about 30 years old now, everyone went in for a year just so Jenna could have gymnastics. That is a creative way to find what you need. And so that is something that you might consider working out when you're needing money. I'm just like, there is more to figuring this out. If you need $47, you might find a creative way to make that $47 once a month to allow you, and let your kids be a part of it when you have a lot of kids. Now, again, I don't remember the ages, but I'm just, that is for example. So I've sort of rambled, but I wanted to sort of open your mind up. And even in her book, she's like, open your mind and see that there are different ways to be able to accomplish a goal. Too often we just think dollars per time. And her mom was persistent. And she says her mom to this day is still like that. So I love that story. Anyway, okay, Carrie Beck, FamilyEbiz. If you want to join the mastermind, it's FamilyEbiz.com/mastermind. You should see it in the description or in the in a comment here. Thank y'all for being here. Even if you're listening to the replay, leave comments and I will be checking back, and let's interact. And when I get a few interviews of our current mastermind members, you'll be the first to know. Hey, I'm Carrie Beck with FamilyEbiz.com/mastermind. Talk to you later.